Yeah,
Yeah. So welcome to the IRCast. I'll try to speak louder. We are in a very nice hotel in Bled. With me is Alexander Todorovič, Gita Coaching, and today we will try to speak about coaching in relationship to health, mental pain, emotional pain, and how coaching can guide us through stress and also help us to develop healthy mentality and help us to regain health. So, Alexander, welcome.
thank you.
You're my good friend and teacher also, and I'm very glad that you are with us. And you have a history of very long history of coaching. Many clients. How much clients do you think you coached till now?
I had a list of about 1,000 clients over the past 20 years.
So, how do you think coaching can help us develop better relationship with our mind, with our body, spiritually? How we can mature through coaching practices?
Well, Gita coaching is based on Bhagavad Gita, so the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita can help us to develop better relationship with everything that has been given to us, like body, mind, intelligence, and to make better use of it. Bhagavad Gita is an ancient book of wisdom, which is part of the famous epic Mahabharata. It has 700 verses, and it gives holistic instruction or holistic teaching or advice about human life.
Mm.
Holistic means body, mind, and spirit.
Mm.
All these three aspects of human existence.
So in your work till now, you also mentioned to me earlier that you have a lot of coaching friends also, so that you are working and collaborating or building a relationship inside the coaching community. So can you describe or mention some connections that you have or the workflow that you have with other coaches, or who is inspiring you in your work?
I had a personal communication with Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, and Marshall Goldsmith. And Marshall Goldsmith is considered to be a number one leadership thinker in the world and number one executive coach by several institutions which assess works of coaches. Now, with him, I met him personally in London 2 times, and we had very nice conversations about life, about coaching, about the purpose of life. And he coached me when I was working for one charity company in London and the spiritual center. He coached me in front of my president, and he visited our restaurant. And he was very charitable. He always gave me his books for free. He likes to give things for free. So he's a behavioral coach. He helps executives to change their behavior, and he gets paid only if his client has results, if his client changes. And what is special about him is that results are not measured by the coach or by the client. Results are measured by people around the client, like his superiors, his peers, and his subordinates.
So how do you think, like in my case, I want to connect Ayurveda with coaching, and you were one of the inspirations for me to connect coaching and Ayurveda together in the practice where people could brainstorm and take responsibility for their own health and get more knowledge through some insights. And what is your experience in, and how do you think we can connect health and coaching together into one practice?
Well, to be healthy, one has to be disciplined. Disciplined in his diet and disciplined in his habits. And coaching is one of the most important principles in coaching is discipline or self-discipline. So this is obvious connection. But another principle that is a connection between coaching and Ayurvedic healing is actually understanding our spiritual nature. So when we understand that we are spiritual beings and that we possess a body, then we can have, I would say, a deeper approach to healing. And of course, Ayurveda is coming from the body of knowledge, which is the ancient Vedas. Bhagavad Gita comes from the same source. So holistic approach, that's one connection, and another connection is the principle of discipline or self-discipline.
So what I want to do in my practice is to guide people, like for example, a lot of times have client who goes to the doctor and he gets instructions, but then the habits that he has developed through the years are very hard to conquer. So these habits are the reason that he's trapped into the bad health or bad relationship, or he cannot develop his career, because I think all of these, also spiritual health, sure is the foundation, and all of these are in holistic approach to health, they're all very important for the person to be healthy, also physical health, like we said before. And what I try to do is to guide them when he get the recommendations from the doctor, that he can kind of like implement them into their own lives. So how coaching alone can help us develop new habits and get rid of old beliefs, or just transform the old beliefs into new beliefs? How you are doing your coaching modality?
If people want to develop better habits and better discipline, it's very important how they talk to themselves throughout the day. So internal dialogue, how you start your day, how do you plan your day, how do you talk to yourself about your plan for the day. And I always say, write it down. Write down what you want to do this day. There is a true story of two friends. One was a consultant and one was a businessman. And he asked his friend, can you give me advice? I will pay you, but give me advice. How can I improve my life and improve my business? And he gave him an envelope with a letter. And he said, open it when you come home. And if this advice works, you can pay me. I will send you a bill. But if it doesn't work, then you pay me nothing. So he went home, opened the envelope, and read his instructions. And instruction said, every day, make a list of everything. Step 1, every day make a list of everything you need to do that day. Step 2, do it. So he followed this and he completely turned around his business. It sounds very simple, even simplistic, but actually it requires understanding of the value of this advice. And then he charged him, I think, about $10,000. But this man made millions by following this simple advice. So, in changing habits of diet, changing habits of exercise, moving, one can use coaching for developing better discipline. And now Bhagavad Gita recommends introspection, and by thinking more deeply about what you want to achieve, what you want to do, then you actually can have a better performance during the day. You can fulfill your plan more successfully. And if you have a coach, you know, I will have to report to him how I am doing on my health issues or my health habits. So you feel accountable to your coach, that you know, I have to be accountable to my goals through my coach, and you get more serious of helping yourself, in helping yourself.
Can you share with me some of your most, how to say, influential coaching sessions or coaching partners that you had till now?
I can share some sessions that I liked the most. Once I read an article called "Who's Got a Monkey?" So this article describes about delegation. When people come to you and ask you how to do something, you first ask them, what do you think? How did you think about how you can do this more effectively or more efficiently? So basically you give the ball back. They want to give you their problem, but you give it back in a nice way and ask them to use their intelligence and to think. So now once I applied the technique of mindstorming, which is brainstorming by an individual person. So he does brainstorming with himself. So the man came to me with a problem, and I said, okay, so write down 20 ideas how you can do this best. And I gave him this task. I went out of the room. When I came back, he had a big smile. He said, amazing, I got these ideas. And I, as a coach, look at his ideas, and I had to admit that I could never come up with such great ideas for his issue. He knows his issue, he knows himself, so he designed his success plan by writing 20 ideas. So to me, that was one of the best sessions I have, and I did almost nothing. I just told him to think and to write it down, and he was so happy, and it was very empowering for him, because from now on he was using this technique more frequently, and he learned how to help himself by the simple technique of mindstorming.
And you also did sessions with singers and actors. Yeah. I think you mentioned to me that you did a session with the singer of the Pretenders, the lady.
Yes, I had coaching. She was one of the best clients. She was always with the pen and paper writing down ideas. I had only 1 or 2 sessions with her, but she got the best results because she took it seriously. She is a very, I think, focused and disciplined person. And I coached one actress from London also, and now she's married, and I think she's giving classes, acting classes. Coaching results depend more on the seriousness of a client than on the expertise of a coach. So now I gave you experience of a successful coaching session. I want to give you an experience of unsuccessful coaching session with the same technique. So why I'm saying this is that different clients require different approach sometimes. you can use only one technique, but you can also use different techniques for different people, whatever is their need. So once I was in Siberia, in Tyumen. It's a big city in south of Siberia. South of Siberia is not so cold as north of Siberia in Russia. And one lady told me about some difficulties that she had with meditation, mantra meditation, and I asked her to do the same thing, to write down ideas. And at the end, she was so frustrated. She said, I expected your support, I expected your encouragement, but I expected that you give me advice, but you just asked me to think myself, and she really didn't like it. So therefore, the coach has to have sensitivity to feel what will help, or intuition, to feel what will help the client, and then use the technique that will help the client. So we are not attached to the technique. We want to do something that will help the client.
And what is what you told me till now, it is obvious that a lot of your work is connected with spirituality and understanding of God, of universe, of so my question is, what is the importance of trusting God, trusting the universe into the process of transforming yourself or trying to transform your business, relationship, health? When we drive here to Bled, we mentioned Rick Warren a lot of times, and his approach to, like, he's kind of like spiritual coach, and we talked about how we a lot of times are trying to solve our problems alone without some higher authority, without spiritual authority. So how can we, for example, if I'm doing Ayurveda, if I'm doing holistic coaching, if I'm trying to help people gain their health and transform their health, how important it is that we teach them also how to trust God in the process?
I would say it's essential, actually, in any kind of human endeavor to connect with the Creator, to connect with someone who has the highest intelligence. And God's intelligence is shown in the world scriptures, whether it's Quran or Bible or Talmud or Torah, New Testament, Old Testament, Bhagavad Gita. You can find so much intelligence, God's intelligence, and intelligence of God's representatives, prophets, spiritual intelligence. So one thing that is lacking in this world is actually spiritual intelligence. And spiritual intelligence can help also in dealing with health issues, with bodily health issues, or...
I'm sorry, we are just in a hotel and we're trying to make a conversation, but sometimes things are getting loud. I wanted to make the environment where you will also feel comfortable a little bit different, where we are sharing like we would be together drinking tea. So sorry, I'm interrupting, but it's just the things getting loud sometimes in between.
Well, we apologize to the listeners and to the viewers. So in life, everything is interrelated. That's why we need holistic approach to healing, holistic approach to coaching. Everything is connected with everything else in life. And like, people come to me and say, I have a problem with time management. But when we dig deeper and we try to see what is the real issue behind this so-called time management problem, we see that the problem is that their boss is torturing them. So, because the boss is giving them too much to do. So the problem is not time management, the problem is a relationship where you are just a very blind yes man, and you are never able to say no. So you see how it's related. Like your organizational skills are actually connected to your relationship with people you work with or you work for, and so we have to take time to speak and to see what's really happening, what's the real issue. Therefore, having 1 hour for a coaching session can add such a huge value in your life. Like for example, if you do massage, after this people feel like almost sometimes flying. They feel so relieved, they feel light, they feel healthy, they feel taken care of. And it was only 1 hour. So similarly, in a coaching session, this conversation can completely change your life. In my sessions, I listen a lot, and when people take time to speak openly and confidentially about their life, they discover things themselves. They discover amazing things about themselves, and sometimes they are surprised. Oh my God, I never thought I could come up with this idea. And the coach was just sitting and listening and giving his or her attention and caring for that client and wishing the best for the client. So attention is very important in any kind of helping profession and in life in general. So when you are healing people, you need to give 100% of your attention. When you are coaching people, you give 100% of your attention. And attention empowers people. Our attention gives people strength. This is how the universal laws work.
So what would be the one tip for the listeners according to their health status, and how they can how could they benefit from our conversation? What would be the one tip that you would give, or one question that you would ask the listeners to help them in their health situation, pain, emotional pain, or just how they can heal themselves from physical pain even? What would be the question that you would ask them?
I would not ask them a question. I would actually recommend that they ask questions themselves.
Okay.
So that they create questions that will help them deal. If you have the right questions, you can practically deal with anything in your life. So if you ask yourself, how can I heal myself? Again and again, how can I help myself with my health? Then you will get so many ideas. Because within you have unlimited intelligence. Within you there is also expansion of God called Paramatma or Super Soul. And he has unlimited intelligence. He can give you amazing ideas if you ask the right questions and then listen. So it's called Q storming, when you create questions that will help your success in any area of life, including health. And you could ask which doctor could possibly help me the best. Like for example, why I like to work with you, because you are genuinely concerned about my health. And even maybe you are not like you don't have like 50 years of experience as a healer, but I trust you more than any other healer, because I see that your intention and your care is very, very real. It's very genuine. And I believe when you tell me go there or try this and these things. So that's very important. So to trust someone who can help you, there is two things: character and competence. And character means they have the right motive to help you, the right intention, they are caring, they are also good example themselves. and they also care for their own health. So that's the character part. And competence part, that they know how to help, they know how to heal, they know how to discover what is the real problem. If you go to a dentist who is a nice guy, he always hugs you when he comes, and he gives you a juice, and he asks you how is your wife. But then when you sit on the chair, he always pull out the wrong tooth. So he has a nice character, a nice nature, but he doesn't have competence. And if you come to a doctor who is super competent, but he always says, oh, this is going expensive, he charges you more, so he cheats you in some way, then you also wouldn't like to go to such doctor. So when we are seeking help, including help about our health, how to choose a doctor, then we need to look for the character and competence of the person who will help us, and then trust them.
Thank you so much for this conversation. We are in Bled. We are also still there is outside the sun, so we also want to go to walk a little bit around.
We can swim.
We can even swim, but Alexander has sometimes high vata, so we will not swim because it's too cold. And for me also high vata is not good, so we
you
both
put the foot in the water.
we are both not very ready to swim in a cold lake right now. But definitely I think we will have a walk and a warm ginger tea because it's good for us according to Ayurveda. So stay in touch. I will do more of these very spontaneous conversations. Maybe even with Alexander we do some more. And if you want to contact him, I think you can find him in gitacoaching.com.
No, Gita Seva.
gitaseva.com.
Gita Seva Facebook page.
Gita Seva Facebook page, but you also have an internet site, yeah?
I'm Gita Seva on Twitter. I have a blog called Gita Seva.
Okay.
My email is gitaseva108@gmail.com. I am on WhatsApp, but I have to give you a number. So if you write me on Facebook, I will give you a number of my WhatsApp. I am on Viber. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. But the best way to contact me is through Facebook page Gita Seva, 2 words, Gita Seva.
So if you would like to ask Alexander a question, just find him and ask him. Ayurcast and Ayur Coaching goes forward, and I hope we bring you some perspective about coaching and Ayurveda, how they can marry together and how they can help you succeed in life. So have a nice day. We will take advantage of this nice place and take a walk and make some conversation about life. Thanks, bye-bye.